Welcome to episode number 10. Tonight we have a special, very, very special guest. He's a friend, he's a brother, he's part of the family. We wanted to have him here in the podcast. We're gonna be talking about him. He's one of the biggest barber here in Ireland. Has been winning so many awards. This year, like three times, three awards. Last year, number one, and it's very well known in the barber industry. And yeah, we're gonna be talking about so many interesting things that I think for beginners, for people that is living here in Ireland, and any barber. I know friends that they are in Barcelona. Carlitos, he's a really good barber as well. He has been like, man, I really want to meet him one day. Imagine how good it is that. And yeah, so Patrick, thank you so much for
Thank you. Thank you. Can you just send me that clip there alone? It's really nice. I'll listen to it every now and again. That made me sound really good what you said there. Thank you.
Thank you.
Don't forget, as usual, don't forget to like the video if you like it, to subscribe to the channel, and most importantly, share to your friends, to your family, to all the people that you might think this content is gonna like them. So yes, bro, just start. How are you, bro? Good?
I'm really good. Yeah, I'm
really happy to have you here.
Yeah, I'm really happy to be here. Thank you so much for inviting me. I've always wanted to play pool in the dark. I really have. So I'm excited to try this and give it a go. But no, thank you guys. Thank you firstly for inviting me along to the podcast. It's a pleasure to be here, and it's just great to share some time with really creative, like-minded individuals, which is really cool. So thank you so much.
Thank you to you, bro. Well, we when I came here, you were actually doing a photo shoot to Manny. So as you can see, Manny is looking really fresh. How are you feeling, Manny? The fade is actually really good, bro.
As you can see the difference. It's like I cannot explain how good he is cutting hair. So you can see my fade, it's really good haircut, and it is amazing, Patrick. And yes, just we wanted to ask you, Patrick. It's very interesting to know how everything started. So when was the day that you say, "This is my passion. This is what I want to start doing"? How was that?
Yeah. I struggle to think of a day where I said this is something that I really love to do. There's been times when there's been a moment when maybe I've done a haircut or I've been working with a student and I've seen maybe their success, or I've seen something that I've worked on and it's been appreciated or people have liked it. So there's been times like that where that's really made me very happy. It's really made me overcome with joy, To go back to the very start, it was never part of my plan to do this. I never set out to do it, which is why I'm a firm believer in that you always end up where you're meant to be in some way, shape or form, I got into this job, this thing that I do. I don't know if I call it a job because half the time I create things with my hands, so I don't really see that as work. I don't have like a 9 to 5 that some people have where they sit at a desk or they go to an office. I started out in my auntie's hair salon. She had a salon over 16 years ago now. Yeah. So I was 6 months old at the time. I was a little bit older, to be fair. So next year coming, which is in a few weeks, in January, I'll be 35 years of age. Yeah. Okay. So I started, later in life. Do you know what I mean? I was, ending my teenage years, going into my 20s. She had a salon that she opened up, and I just wanted a part-time job. So I started with her many years ago. So over time, it was something that I fell into, and then even longer in time, it was something I fell in love with. So it was never my intention, but as fate would have it, it was going to be a big part of my life. Yeah.
I think that those are the places a passion come from. He wasn't even looking for it, and I think it's a true passion because, like you say, it's not a regular job for you. So you can actually do it at any time of the day.
For sure, man.
So I think that was for example with you. I remember when I was a kid. You remember that you used to edit photos on a editing program. Picnic. So I think Manny, like since I know him, or since I remember, he has been editing. Like since he was like 13 years old, but
Yeah.
of course, like it's not the same editing that he does now.
Sure.
It used to be like really crazy colors, like really crazy everything, bro.
It is funny because if I look back to those edits, it's just crazy how bad. It's like, what the you know, that kind of edit to send to your girlfriend.
Yeah.
You know, like, oh, with the earth and all. So, but yeah.
No, but yeah, just to finish the idea of Manny, like I remember him like back on those days, like in our granny's place. He was like already on the computer, like editing and everything. Like you were like maybe 16 years old, and by the time your passion is actually baseball. But it was so unexpected that the photography and videography was actually your passion, and it happens to you the same. So that's actually really nice.
Yeah.
One of the questions that I had was like, for example, like, if you have like a fresh memory of your very first day as a barber, like were you actually nervous, or it was like something chill? Because there are too many people that they actually start with friends, or Manny and me back in the pandemic, we used to do haircuts, but man, just imagine like Manny and me, like bam, 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 bro, that was crazy. Well, like great times, but crazy. But do you remember any?
Yeah. Funnily enough, it was the exact same, bam, 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 but no pandemic. Like no, this is a job. This is what I was doing. It was literally that. It was me just trying my best with what I knew at the time, which back then was very little. Nowadays we have YouTube and we have TikTok and we have all these things. We have so much education out there to learn how to be a barber. It's not really hard today to learn how to cut hair. It's really not. I know people that aren't barbers that cut hair great. You know, I know hairdressers that don't specialize with men's hair, but they cut hair amazing, you know. So now it's not that hard to get access to all this stuff. It's majority of it's free and it's out there. But to go back, when I first started, I had none of that.
Okay.
Instagram was just popping off. Not very many people were posting haircuts, and the ones that they were very the same. They all looked the same. So it was me just looking at haircuts that I liked on Instagram and just trying to replicate it in person.
Okay.
And the very first time that happened, which I believe it was probably one of the most pivotal moments of my life, the salon that I worked in at the time, I'd left my aunties at this point and gotten a job in this really fancy, very premium, very high level salon, beautiful salon. It was called Mizzou. And the owner of it, Linda is her name, the lovely Linda, was, you know, really one of the first people that took a chance on me, you know, and invested in me. And they had a guy who worked in the shop at the time who was the barber. Every hairdresser has a barber. They have some person in the hairdresser that's good at men's hair. And their barber was just out sick that day. Just so happened. I had nothing to do with it. I didn't trip anybody up or anything like that at all. So he was off sick that day. I was in the kitchen just washing some stuff because I was an apprentice, trainee, junior, hairdresser, whatever you want to call it. And my manager said at the time, oh, we've got 2 clients booked in later on. I'm going to have to cancel them. And before I knew what I was saying, I just turned around and said, I'll do it. Okay. Straight away. I said, I'll do it. And she looked at me and said, are you going to be okay to do it? I said, yeah, I'll be okay. But in my mind I was like, what? Why? Am I, like, why did I just say that? Like, and then of course I couldn't backstep out of it because I'd already said yes. So I just done my best. I just done a bit of the clippers, bit of the scissors put together, you know. I mean, the haircuts now, knowing what I know, were terrible. They weren't that great.
Of course.
You know, I styled them, I blow dried them, two young kids, and they loved them. And back then, I remember stepping back and looking, I love it. I thought that was great. I thought it was the best thing
You were
ever.
proud of it.
I was so happy, you know, that I'd done it. And then from then, naturally, what happened again, with, you know, the world being what it was, I was probably the first barber, from my recollection, in my area, my hometown, that posted haircuts on Instagram.
Okay.
Probably,
Okay.
yeah, that I'm aware of. You know, I hadn't seen anyone else doing it at the time. There were other barbers in other towns that were doing it, and they really inspired me. Like people like Ryan Cullen and Jocelyn Monica. These were names that were using Instagram a lot, posting haircuts, and the haircuts were just fantastic. So my early days was me trying to just replicate these haircuts. So when I took a photo of these haircuts that I'd done, and post them on Instagram, within a week, I had this influx and stampede of clients. Literally within a week or two, you know, people started to see these photos and things like skin fades, which are everyday stuff now.
Yeah.
But back then it was new, it was just catching on. So I am not exaggerating. There's got to be some evidence of it somewhere. When I say back then in my early career, when I worked in my salon, come 4 o'clock every day, which is when everyone finished school. So all these young people, from 4 o'clock to when I finished, I was booked out, skin fades, skin fades, skin fades. Okay. And I built it from that. So I was literally, honestly, thrown in at the deep end from week 1. And then Saturday, I was just chock-a-block, as I say, from the start to finish. 15, 16 haircuts back to back, skin fades, because I just started posting on Instagram. So it went from me saying, I'll do it, within a week or two, being really, really busy and becoming known in the area as, yeah, he cuts hair all right. So that was my start, to be fair. Do you know what I mean? It's quite interesting, yeah.
No, that's actually really nice because it happened to me, like talking about fades, skin fades.
Okay, yeah.
It was actually the opposite. My mom, as I say hi to my mom. My mom, she was actually doing a barber, and she's actually a hairdresser.
Wow, okay.
Back in Venezuela.
Yeah.
So when she was actually doing the course, just guess who the model was? Me.
Oh,
Of course, like she didn't have anyone else. She was like, okay, you are going to be the model. But after 2-3 haircuts, like they were actually really good. One day we were just like, I didn't have money to go to the barber. So I was like, Mom, can you do me a haircut? And she was like, okay, perfect. Just get everything. I got everything, the machine, the table, the chair and everything. And okay, she started. I was like, okay, as usual, like, high skin fade, of course, like in Spanish is way different, but I remember like she actually started. Well, we didn't have a mirror because we were out of my house, so we didn't have a mirror, but I had the cap and everything. She started bam, 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 and then I see, bro, and then I see like, I see here, and then I see like big parts of my hair, and was like, okay, perfect. I'm not gonna freak out. So that's awesome. I was like, okay, perfect. I'm just getting a haircut. Whenever we finished, bro, I literally went to the toilet, and then I was like, bro, the fade was too high that she actually cut until here. Like, bro, he actually cut this part of here and this part of here. So I had only this part of hair, bro. So that was back in 2019. And and I'm like, all my life I have been like really crazy with my hair. Like, if I have a bad haircut, I get really, really upset and really, really mad, even with my mom, and even it's not their fault. So I actually forgot about everything, and that was on the year that I came. I moved to Ireland. So I moved to Ireland, and Manny and me have been like the whole life, no, like really, really close. So I came here like after 2 weeks and everything. Manny came to me like, Fernando, what happened to your hair? And I was like, nothing. Why, bro? Because you look like a pineapple, and. It's just, bro, for real. I'm going to be showing some photos of my haircut at the time, bro. And then I was like, oh no.
Wow. That's the other thing. In Venezuela, I have picture of that. It is crazy, but we actually get the haircut. It's just between friends and stairs. You know, we connected. And one of us is probably good at that. When I say good, it's not that it's like. It's just a barber, not even, the best, doing a little bit of the fade or something, but it's not that good, you know. And okay, we're gonna do 3 or 5 hours before go to the party, and but that's the way you cut the hair. Usually, you go to the barber shop and all that, but I think you have fun, you know, with your friends as well. Getting the haircut, everyone talking about what happened last night or whatever. So, but that's the case in Venezuela. It's very normal. You see the barbers maybe, or now I think more because I saw videos, people getting the haircut on the street, like, and Patrick, you have this project, No Label, and I think this is an amazing project where we have been there. So we film there all the time. People have seen videos. And it's amazing what you do in the label. Can you explain a little bit about this project and how amazing it is, this project for you?
Well, thanks very much. Thank you for saying that. Absolutely. No Label is the joint effort of, many people. There's many people involved that make it No Label. I think one of the cool things about it is that it's not down to one person or 2 people or 3 people. And what makes it is the sum total of the entire team. So at the minute, we've got quite a lot of people that work in our 4 locations right across Dublin. We're very, very lucky to, post-COVID, thank God, we still have all of the locations that we kind of set out with. We used to have a shop in Drumcondra, but again, a number of different reasons behind that, location, timing. That was something that we tried and it just didn't work out, and that's totally cool. But, thank God we still have 4 premium locations across Dublin and 1 academic space, one school or academy. And basically, myself, Craig Murtza and Glenn McGoldrick, Glenn and Craig know each other a long time from when they started Barbers many, many years ago. They went to, similar training sessions and they worked in the same shop for quite a long time. And they had their own idea of doing their own brand. They had the name for it, No Label, okay? So that was it for a long time. They joined Menspire, which is a very renowned brand right across the world for men's hair. And they joined that brand some years ago. And I believe the first shop was set up in Dublin around about 7-8 years ago now at this stage, maybe slightly longer. And I actually joined that shop about 6 years ago. And from there, we were all part of the same team for a long time. We grew from 1 shop to 5 at one point. We set up an academy and everything was going great. Everything was flying, as they say, and we were enjoying a lot of success with it. And I suppose for me, with the space that we're in and the industry that we're in, everyone's trying to do their own thing. Everyone wants their own brand, their own business, their own identity. They want to stand out in as a remarkable individual in, an industry full of remarkable individuals. Everyone wants to do their own thing. Mm-hmm. So we got to that point in our lives and our careers. Glenn has a beautiful family. He is moving on to the next phase of his life, as is Craig. Again, he's got his own family set up, and I myself have my partner, and we have things that we want to do with our life. So we kind of had to ask ourselves the question: what do we want to do, and how do we get there? And after a few very tough conversations and a lot of soul searching, we decided amongst us that our future wasn't part with Menspire anymore. So we sat down and said, what would we like our new venture to look like? What would we like to feel like? So we set up this project called No Label. And the idea is to basically have everyone involved in some capacity. That's the idea.
That's really
Where
nice.
It's not just about me, him, them. It's about, this is the thing that we're building. And every person that is in this industry that wants to make a good go of it and wants to ultimately find a way where they can, work better, earn better, and live better. Everyone has an opportunity to be part of that, from our salons, where the people that work in them are self-employed. So they're essentially their own boss. They are their own smaller company within the big company. So they set their own hours, they set their own prices. They have the opportunity to make the most amount of money and hopefully enjoy their time in the salon. It's our duty to provide a safe, warm, welcoming, working environment. Not only that, but they have the likes of Craig that they can lean into for personal development. How can I become a better barber? How can I provide a better service? How can I maximize my clientele? How can I make the most money for the work that I put in? How can I develop that? For some of our guys, it's not just their first barbershop, it's their first ever job. It's the first time they stepped into the industry. We have a massive advantage where we worked in many jobs before we settled on becoming a barber or doing hair. So I had a lot of experience with customers, I had a lot of experience with people, and I was very good at that. I was very good at talking and listening, whereas some of our team coming into it, it's brand new to them. So you're kind of taking them through it bit by bit. So they had the likes of Craig and people within the brand to draw on. When it comes to hair cutting, and there might be a particular haircut that they might struggle with. Maybe they enjoy fading a little bit more than the longer hair. They have someone like me that they can avail of and spend some time with and book in a session to maybe deal with some of the problems that they're having. So all the areas that they might have within their daily work life, from hair cutting to working with clients, they have some within the brand that they can draw from and learn from. So as they're earning, they're learning. Now, the 2 big things that people look for in a job, right? How much money can I earn? Once you've made the most amount of money, what's the next thing? Well, what can I learn? How can I grow? How can I get better? Etc., etc. So No Label, we're trying to build a working environment within the salons and the academy where people can do that from entry level all the way up to educator showcase level, which, our next big venture, or the third pillar of the three pillar system that we have is our online platform, which is what we were filming for tonight, which we're really, really excited for, where we want to build basically like a Netflix for barbers and haircutters. And eventually want to build that out where it's not only barbers that's on there. We want hairdressers, we want nail technicians, we want beauticians, we want people within the hair and beauty space that provide a bespoke service and they can stream their content online. So there's a lot of big hopes, a lot of big plans. We're trying to set something up, not where just we win, but hopefully in some capacity everyone can win in some way, shape or form, because everyone deserves it. You know, we all work very hard.
It's really nice, really nice.
Yeah.
Like, congratulations, because like
Thank
you
you.
have a really, really nice concept of your brand.
Thanks, man.
Especially like, for example, like what he said, like he's actually looking for like not just the service, like the job. It's about like learning something else or doing something else, like a part of your job. And I think that's what I actually have taken you here. So it's really, really nice. Really,
It's funny because that we were talking before to do the podcast. Actually, your barber as well, he knows Patrick.
Yeah.
And it's funny because sometimes when we have not the time to go to your studio or to get the haircut with you, because we're on rush or something like that, and we have to go any barber, and it's crazy because they have seen us already in with you getting the haircut. And people sometimes the barbers are like, bro, you get the haircut with Patrick. How is Patrick? And it's crazy that everyone recognizes you as a great barber, as one of the best barber here in Dublin in Ireland, and it's for us. It's like, wow, it's so good to have you, and even Sean as well. Sean and always talking great things about you and Patrick. And what you think has been one of the, I don't know, crazy story that you probably the funny one of them. I think you told me one day. I remember. I think when you tried to do the afro. I think the first time. I think it was that one. I think in London. You went to London. It was your first time, and you did many haircuts. Maybe I'm just not. I have so many things in my head.
Yeah, that has definitely happened. Where I've done something
Yeah, I
the
remember.
first time, and it's gone wrong. Yeah, that's happened loads of times. When you said the one time, I said I can tell you 20 times that's happened. But firstly, mate, thanks so much for saying that. That's really, really cool to hear. It's nice to get some positive feedback from your peers, people that do the same job as you. I personally, my own opinion is that I don't think there is a best or the best.
Yeah.
It's like, who's the best, Ronaldo or Messi? Or for me, I am...
Sorry, did you say Ronaldo or Messi?
I'm not too sure. That's why I did not say.
I think that's different now. Take
Roy
another
Keane.
example.
Come on, Roy Keane. Here we go. That's I'm sticking to it. Yeah, that's me. Everyone else, forget everyone else. But I mean, it's so funny to say that because it's like I consider myself a very good learner. I'm probably one of the best learners that I know. All right, like I'm always trying to learn or get better. Like we've hung out quite a bit, and we've done your haircut, and I'm always saying I'd love to try this better and do this. And I think that's one thing that after 16 years that hasn't changed, it hasn't budged. I'll always look at something and say, right, how can I do that better? What can I learn from that? You know what I mean? So I think sometimes what happens with barbers is they're busy. We get tired, we get fatigued, we get very bored and fed up. And sometimes we get to a level and we just stop, we just stay there. So that's what happens with a lot of people sometimes because of burnout, barber burnout, they call it, where they're cutting hair so long and they're so busy that the passion goes or the love stops. And I think some people get there and they stay there and they're like, well, this is my lot now, what do I do? And they stay there. Or some people, they do leave and they do something else. With me, I'm always thinking, right, what can I do next?
Okay.
Well, how can I be better, quicker? How can I explain this better? How can I share this with people? How can I bring someone on this journey with me, etc., etc.? I'm always trying to learn something to teach someone all the time. It's like a cycle. So that's one of the things that I'm very proud of myself on. With their best, I mean, who is their best, man? You know what I mean? I know loads of barbers that are amazing.
Really good,
I know loads of female barbers that are exceptional. I know loads of Afro barbers that are insane
Incredible.
in Ireland, in the talent in Ireland. The talent in Ireland is some of the best in the world.
Definitely.
It is just, and there's so many barbers, I could probably spend the rest of the evening kind of going through names and this and that, and there's so many that are amazing. I'm very lucky because I work with my favorite ones. To be honest, yes, I'm very, very blessed with that. The people that I've admired from way back when I work with now. You know what I mean? So that's a big privilege. Like say Glenn and Craig, and it's just Adam Heron, all these people I could throw out names. I mean, my goodness, when it comes to hair, just insane, which is wonderful. That being said, there has been times when I did consider packing it in and giving up and, you know, playing tennis or something like that, or just, you know, trying to become a viral sensation by, you know, I don't know, jumping into the Liffey, you know what I mean? Because like, you know, like there's got to be something easier to do than this thing that I'm doing. And there's been many, many times, there's been many, many horror stories when things have gone wrong, you know. I'm trying to think of one that's been like the maddest or the biggest. Definitely times where I found myself in my career where I'm in a situation I'm thinking, how the hell did I get here? One of those scenarios was in Greece where, you know, my mentor at the time, Josh, brought us over to Greece to teach a course, and you're in a room with 50 Greek barbers. You know, they're 6'5" by 5 foot wide. They got beards, big lads. You know what I mean?
Okay.
And for me, like, I'm just there in the middle of like, hello. And they're big, they're boisterous. Josh turns to me, he has the mannequin on the stage in front of all these people. He turns to me, shows me the comb and says, Pat, you're up.
No.
So it's one of those moments where you kind of sink or swim. Do you know what I mean? And, you know, your heart's pounding, your adrenaline's going, and you think this is either going to go really good or really, really bad. Do you know what I mean? So again, straight away, what's the big thing? First of all, you think I'm not experienced enough. Secondary, you're thinking there's a big language barrier. We have a translator, which is amazing, but I've got to take what I know and pretend as if I'm now almost kind of talking to a child. I have to simplify it down so easy so I can explain it to the translator. Slowly. The translator can hear what I'm saying and then speak it to the students. They can get the information from my mouth through the translator into their ears, up to their brain, down to their hands and onto the hair.
Wow. No, it's a long way.
That's not easy, okay? It's very similar to trying to figure out Chinese algebra, all right? It is hard, man, but it makes you better. It makes you a better teacher. All right.
Okay.
And then finish the haircut. This, that, and the other. Turn around. Similar experience happened in front of a bunch of Brazilian barbers. We were chatting about that earlier on.
Yeah.
Simple little haircut, nothing. You explain to them at the end. Wow. And they saw, and they're like, Patrick! I was like, you know what I mean? And I'm there quivering. At the end, you're like, yeah, you know what I mean? All right. So it's just, mate, it's one of those things that sticks with you for life. Do you know what I mean? It's like these people are so talented, but they appreciate what you've done, which again defeats that whole who's better, who's not. There is no better or right or wrong in hair. There's just different. And I think for me, when I had those experiences, that made the tougher times that little bit easier when maybe the haircut didn't go right or maybe the student didn't understand. That happens as human beings. We're always going to make mistakes, but I've had experience like that in front of, you know, audiences from Brazil, from Greece, Hungarian people. And just seeing people all over the world just appreciate something that you've done is just...
Yeah, I think that's one of the things that barbers, that one of the perks of being a barber, that you know people from all over the world, especially here in Ireland, because I was actually talking with my barber. I actually asked him, like, bro, have you known many people from, and he was like, bro, crazy how all the people, like, because like everybody in the world needs to get a haircut, you know. So, and especially here in Ireland and especially here in Dublin, that there are too many cultures around. And he was like, tell me a nationality. And I was like, I don't know, Venezuelan. Well, he was like, but you, I was like China and everywhere. And I think that's actually really nice because like you get to know like how other people think. I think that's one of the good things about barbering. But I wanted to ask you, like, how do you find teaching? Like, do you really like it? Like, how long ago did you start by teaching barbering?
Although, yeah, for sure, man. It was something that I just naturally gravitated into. It's not something, again, I never set out to do. Before I was cutting hair full time, I worked with young people. I was a youth worker. And I always found myself in a position where I was teaching or communicating. You know, you guys know me by now. I love to have a laugh. I don't take myself too seriously. So I always wanted my job to have something in that capacity where I help someone. And I was very good at talking and I really loved teaching.
Okay.
and I always liked my hair from a very young age. So talking, teaching, and I like my hair. So it's funny that what I do now, there's a combination of all three.
Okay.
So what happened was that I was working in the salon here in Dublin, getting really busy, just enjoying it, trying to get, be a better, hair cutter. And I approached my friend Glenn McGoldrick, who co-runs the company, and I said, I'd love to start teaching with you. Glenn for me was and is one of the greatest educators that has been in this industry, one of the greatest hair cutters. And he's just phenomenal. So a lot of it was just trying to replicate what he done. He would just break haircuts down so simply. And for me, it's very inspiring because I thought you had to be very fancy and use big words and make things sound very, exaggerated. Glenn broke it down so simply. So when I seen what he done and how he done it, it was a big inspiration for me to say, do you know what, I really want to get involved in this. So that was about 6 years ago. When I really got into it, COVID hit.
Okay.
All right, and that just moved our in-person stuff online, which is a wonderful little starting point because when I started teaching on a full-time basis or more regularly, I was always faced with a camera or a phone. There was not a big group of people in front of me. And then, of course, when I started, there was probably about 3 people learned from me. Then it went to 6, then 12, and then sometimes 50 to 100. Sometimes in some of the online audiences, we've got over 1,000 people in the log where they're looking at you, or our YouTube channel. We're very, very lucky to say it has, some of the videos have over 30, 40, 50,000 views.
Crazy.
Do you know what I mean?
That's crazy.
So it's just getting some of that content out there to bigger audiences. So for me, when I started it and I started to learn some stuff, it made me realize, wow, I don't actually know a lot after all. So I need to learn some more. So the more I taught stuff, the more I realized the more I need to learn and the more I have left to learn, So that was 6 years ago now. And I went from position to working full-time in our salon to working full-time in our academy. And I spent pretty much my days and nights kind of teaching and working with students from beginner level to our staff, our team, to other people that are within the industry where we do private class, etc. Which is just amazing. It's just something that just comes out of me. I feel it's a part of who I am. If I wasn't doing it, I don't know, I feel a little bit weird. I feel a little bit off, Now to balance that out, sometimes you do what's that expression? You pouring from an empty cup. You know that expression?
Use the fuller cup, no?
Or
No, I don't really remember.
I suppose a simpler way to put it would be that sometimes you get a little bit burnt out or a little bit stressed from it, where when you're giving off yourself all the time, sometimes you kind of run yourself down a little bit. That happens from time to time, So I take it as a massive responsibility, and it is a lot of pressure from time to time to give information and knowledge to somebody else to a point where they feel confident in what they can do, So I love it. It's a big responsibility, but it's something that's really shaped who I am today, to be honest.
That's great, Patrick. It's funny because you say that, I think in Venezuela, for us, I would say 80% of men would love to have Patrick's hair, for sure, in Venezuela. We will die to have your hair, bro.
Yeah.
I remember when... yeah. That's my... I remember when I used to go to school. Yeah. My mom used to hide the how would you call it's not the
I don't know how to.
The hairspray.
The one that you actually brush your hair, but it's warm, just for you to get it similar to your hair, because I have
strainer.
Oh, the hair straightener. Yes, absolutely. Yeah. So that's what I used to use that. All the time. Yeah,
bro. Because my hair is obviously it's not straight, but and I was like, what is that to get my hair like yours? And it was crazy because at the end, it wasn't looking that great, It looks like, I don't know, like burns, it's very so bad.
Yeah.
But in Venezuela, I think 90% or 80% of men, they would love to have straight hair. And Patrick, what would you suggest, for example, for new beginners, new barbers that they are starting their journey as a barber, and they feel maybe lost, as you say, maybe at some point as well you feel like you burned out. And what would you suggest for new beginners? For what is the best recommendation? Maybe, I don't know, starting small, maybe starting part-time, maybe starting with this equipment, or whatever you think is the best option for them.
Yeah, absolutely. I think, and it is hard to know the answer to this question if you are younger, for sure. But what's happening now with a lot of young people, they are doing hair and getting involved because maybe their friends are doing it. It's a trend or it's a hobby, and there's nothing wrong with that. And nothing wrong with that at all. But if someone is trying to enter into the industry or the trade as a beginner, you really have to try and ask yourself, what is it you want to do and want to achieve? What do you actually want to do? You know, because if doing this as a job is part of your dream, your ambition, what you want to do in life, where you maybe want to have your own brand or own shop or own, what can I say, business, then obviously this is part of what you're meant to do for sure. If you're a bit unsure, or if you kind of see it as a pastime or a bit of a hobby, then maybe it's not, you know, the job you want to do when you're 30 or 40 or 50 years of age, you know. It all comes down to who you are as a person and what you want to do, all right? If I wasn't doing what I'm doing now, I don't know what. I honestly no idea what I'd be doing. I dread to think, to be honest. Like the cutting hair is a big part of my life. It helped save my life many, many times, you know, as a focus, as a drive. During COVID, when we were all kind of forced to reflect and kind of think about our lives, I found the world was very, very still during that time. No one had places to go, mostly, etc. So people were forced to kind of look at themselves and think. But when it comes to beginner barbers, really ask yourself, what is it you want to do? And then try and figure out how you're going to get there, you know? Apart from that, very, very staple stuff. Work as hard as you can. You know, like working hard makes hard work easy. If you work hard, the hard work will be easy or easier, all right? Doesn't mean you'll never have hard work, but if you work hard, it will make the hard work easy, all right? Secondary to that, stay humble, all right? No one knows it all. No one has all the answers. No one is a hot shot, all right? It takes a long time to become an overnight success, all right? It takes a long time. So work hard, stay humble. Understand that there's always somebody out there that can do something better than you. Understand it's not about who can do a skin fade the nicest, the quickest. There's so many parts to it, you know what I mean? And we have different facets of the industry now, where you have a lot of people cutting hair from home or from a shed or from a kitchen, which is fine. It's a great starting point. Everyone starts there. But if that's all you want to do, then that's fine. There's levels to this game, and it all comes down to the level you want to go at. So depending on where you want to go, you need to figure out who in the industry is doing what you want to do, and they're the people you need to approach. They're the people you need to learn from. They're the people you need to ask, look, can you teach me? Can you show me? If you can't get yourself into a good shop with a good manager, good systems, somebody that's going to nurture you, look after you, pay you right, get your education, and literally never stop learning. Yeah.
That's amazing.
That's an amazing advice, a really nice advice. And I think that comes from your mentality, because it's really good the way how he thinks. Well, actually, from your mentality, I just wanted to ask you, like, recently you won 3 awards, first, second, and third place. Back in 2023, I guess, you won the, I don't remember the name of the competition, in the Irish...
The IHF, the
Exactly.
Irish Hairdressing Federation.
Hairdresser,
It's a bit of a mouthful.
It's a bit hard for us that it is not our first language. But how do you feel? Like, how do you feel winning those awards when they said your name, that you won like 3 of them?
Yeah.
And even on the picture that I saw you, I was like, well, he looks with aura, you know, like he looks really, really nice. How do you feel? Like, what? Or
It's
maybe
hard work like behind.
exactly, there is a hard
You were
work.
here, so you were here that day. Money knows the stress.
We know that.
Yeah, and the anxiety.
We know that because Patrick came, like, for example, that was this year. You were
Yeah, it was-
preparing
yeah, it
for
was
the
in this
competition
room,
in this
definitely,
room,
yeah.
and we did everything
Yeah.
here. All, like, you know, the preparation. The models comes to the studio, and Patrick getting the haircut.
Sorry, how was the system? Like, what did you do here in the studio?
I think Patrick brought.
Funny that you thought we had a system.
Because I was like, okay,
Yeah.
the models came to the studio, or I didn't get it.
Do you know when you leave a nightclub late at night and you bump into random people?
Oh yeah,
It's exactly like that. Exactly like that. Yeah.
better
Oh,
explanation.
Yeah, but yeah, the preparation was actually here in the studio, and the models came. Very cool guys, amazing. I remember you were doing one of the models on that corner, and even myself, I was like, I never seen something like this before, like this haircut. And I remember one of the landlord came up. The landlord came up. I remember that was crazy. The landlord came up. Came up with he came up.
50s,
He came up and he actually saw that. He said, "Wow, I never seen something like this before." He saw the guy, bro. I'm telling you, I was very surprised. I know that Patrick is amazing and he's like really amazing as a teacher. I have seen so many haircuts of you, and okay, very, very cool. But the guy actually has really good style, really good hair.
That's what made it. Yeah.
And one of the things I love from you is like how like you do art. So the way that you not only focus on the hair, you also focus on how the person is what is gonna be wearing on. So that for the session and all those kind of details, I think that make you like a big difference for between, you know.
Yeah.
And the guy was actually like, we were doing the shoot, nice hair, nice outfit, looking great, and we were taking the pictures and all that. And then Vinny came as well. Vinny is so cool, like this. Vinny with such a nice hair as well.
He's
such a nice guy, and then vibe and
he probably rolled out of bed like that. He used to look like that. You know what I mean? He's what a guy.
So what do you think? It's a big preparation behind it. How is just like how you feel about that? You feel like.
Wow, man, what a great day, man. Like, firstly, bro, thanks so much for all your support on that day. Do you know what I mean? I said it to Sean earlier on that, like, I struggle with anxiety and overthinking, and I think that is the cost you pay as an artist, as a creator. I read a quote many years ago that a lot of the artists hate their stuff because they know they made it. It's a tragic thing, isn't it? Where they hate what the funny thing is, if I seen a haircut that I've done by somebody else, I might think that's really cool, that's really nice, but because I know I've done it, I'm like, oh, I don't like it, or that's the thing that artists and creative people struggle with. So I do struggle with that, and sometimes I was going through some stuff at the time. We had some personal stuff. I had some personal stuff going on at the start of that year. So I was so in between whether I would enter the competition or not. I was so 50-50. Okay. But just so as God would have it, I was presented the opportunity with just amazing models. I'd come into contact with Connor, who had the blonde, and we had Vinny there as well. We had Snowbar, and we also had Louis, just amazing hair. And we had Lee, who was our photographer on the day. All these things seemed to align where we had some really good models, really good images, and we had an amazing photographer. So I thought, right, it's not going to take a lot of extra effort to put this together. So I thought, why not just try it and see what happens? Yep. Now, the funny thing there is that I entered that same competition probably within my first year as an apprentice when I was doing hairdressing, 14, 15 years ago. Back then, the competition wasn't by photographs. You didn't enter photographs back then. You showed up on the day and done your model then and there.
That's pressure.
And so that's what it was. So I had gotten a friend of mine, Mikey, 6 foot. And again, going back to, remember the 2 haircuts that I'd done at the start where I thought, this is amazing. I cut his hair, we'd done a 4 all over. I dyed his hair sterling silver, like the colour of a spoon, silver. I put a little line in it, little line in the back. I dressed him up many years ago. I don't know if you guys would have seen it, but there was an ad for Guinness where all these guys were in this village in Africa and they were dressed in these colourful suits and they all started dancing together.
It's famous,
Very famous.
I'm going to show it to you. It's really famous.
Very famous. Really cool. So I just thought that was so interesting, the coloured patterns on the suits. So I got Mikey, my model, and I dressed him in the 3 primary colours, blue, yellow and red. So he had a blue blazer, yellow trousers and a red shirt. So I thought 3 primary colours, he's got silver hair, something quite interesting, quite striking. Now I look back and think, what the hell was I just... I've never done acid, but imagine that's what it would be like. Do you know what I mean? Just so random, so ridiculous, but I was so proud of it. Yeah. So I took him that day, cut his hair on the floor. You're talking, guys, hundreds of people in this room, 30, 40 other barbers cutting alongside you. That's pressure, you know what I mean? Again, I didn't really feel it because I didn't overthink it back then. Done it. This, that, and the other. That was like 9 in the morning. You found out the results 9 o'clock that night.
No.
All right. There's a whole event. There's all these other categories: long hair, short hair, color, blah blah blah. Anyway, long story short, they're calling it the names. I think it was called the men's full fashion at that time. And they call it third, they call it second, and they call it first, and they said Patrick Browne. And I turned to my colleague, I was like, that sounded like my name he's actually calling out there. I said, do you know any? I was like, that sounded like me. I looked up on the screen, there's my name. I was like, that looks like my name on that screen there. So I don't know, it's like, do you know what I mean? Is my name spelled with an E? And it was me. They announced me as first place.
Wow.
My first competition, one of my first ever haircuts. I mean, cloud nine, I might as well have won an Oscar or the Olympics. It was insane. Wow. So I got up, brought my model, top of the podium, the trophy. I was like, I've made it. I said, this is unbelievable. And then I got home. And then what happened was that through the fountain of all truth and knowledge called Facebook, we found out, unfortunately, that there was a little bit of an error with the competition. Okay, so what happened back then was that you finish a model and you pose your model. So I posed Mikey like a statue, God bless him. Thank God he done squats because he had to stay in that position for like 30 minutes. And all the judges go around, they look at your model and they mark it out of 10 or 20, whatever. Somebody made a mistake with the maths and basically my model wasn't first, my model was actually like fourth.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. So if they had announced me fourth on the day, the reaction would have been the same because I would have been amazed. But what happened then, it was a very crushing. It was very, very upsetting. It really done my confidence in. And obviously a lot of other people were very angry, naturally so. The people that actually won it were very upset that they never got their moment on the platform. And I felt very guilty. I felt that had I taken something away from somebody. So that was very upsetting for me. It wasn't my fault. I can't, admit guilt. But here's the thing. The committee at the time for that competition came alongside me and they met me at my salon. They said, look, we're so sorry this happened. Maybe somebody had one too many beverages. We don't know.
You'll never know.
Maybe someone's looking at an 8 upside down and they just added it wrong, or who knows? All right, we'll never know. But what happened, and everything happens for a reason. So Greg Clark at the time said, look, can we make this up to you in any way, shape or form? I said, I'd love to do a barbering course. Can you send me on one? So they sent me to a barbering course here in Dublin in Mark's Barbers, very close to where we are now. Okay. And for me, that was a defining moment where I thought, I really want to do this now. I really want to give this a go because the way the hair looked on the day, we had Sabina from You Do You. She worked there at the time. I saw that. Sabina was there. It's just all these
She's
people.
amazing. She's amazing. And I think her project is very unique as well.
Amazing. And
I think I really like her. There's like, we have Sabrina she's doing like a kind of she does the haircuts
corporate,
corporate, yeah. So and
she,
we have an amazing shoot. I remember, and we were in front of at the beach. So
I remember that photo shoot that you did.
Yeah. So just
fantastic.
Fantastic. She's amazing.
She worked in that shop that I went to as the course, and her and Mark and all the team at the time really showed me how amazing men's hair could look. So that disaster ended up being this thing that kind of pushed me forward to try my best. All right. So fast forward, 14 odd years, whatever it was.
Yeah.
My girlfriend at the time was saying, are you going to enter that IHF? I said, no way. You're crazy. He said, I said, did you not see what they done last time? It was like this witch hunt. I was expecting people to show up with pitchforks and torches. And I said, no, I can't do it. She said, you've got to have some photographs of haircuts there. You might as well give it a go. So I said, I'll give it a go. That was back in 2023, I believe it was. I entered one image, lo and behold, it won. All right. So I thought, right, I'll try it again this time. Got a few models together, paid a little bit of money to use them as models, etc. And lo and behold, we took home first and second place that year. And then this year gone by, I said, I'm just going to empty the tank and just throw everything I have at this thing. Win, lose or draw, I'm happy. And then on the night, they announced me as third. I thought, that's cool, that's all right, My anxiety was through the roof. They had this beautiful meal presented to us. I didn't touch a thing. Do you know what I mean? I couldn't touch a thing. They announced me as third. I got up there. That's cool. And then they announced me as second. And then at the end, they announced me as first. And I was like, that's first, second, and third. And the guy who said about the error all those years ago, I approached him and I said, now, are you sure this time? You haven't got the maths wrong. Are you sure? All right, I'm the winner. Just to be sure, all right? Just want to add it up there on your little laptop or whatever. But man, to me, honestly, it's just like, I get kind of choked up now. I'm thinking about it, to be honest with you. It was just, This is one of the best moments of my life.
That's awesome.
It's cool, man.
That's
you know,
awesome.
so
That's awesome.
It's
Because
nice. Yeah.
because I actually checked on his Instagram and I saw it. I saw the picture and it was like first, second, and third.
Yeah.
And then I was like, "But where is the second place and the third place?" And then I saw because it was no label, and they put it like our co-founder. He won 3 places, and I was like, "Huh? He won the 3 of them!" And it was like, I can't imagine that that had to be amazing, like to live that. And like, do you think that like actually that changed your mentality in a certain point? Like you always say, like for example, you just said that you are like to keep humble or something. But do you feel like something different after you won those awards or something like?
Not really, to be
No.
honest with you, because it's like, right, like after that's cool, you know what I mean? It's amazing to get those things. Now I'm like, after that was done, I said I'm done now. I've answered all my questions. Yeah. But then they mentioned that they were thinking about bringing back the in-person competitions, and then I thought, I fancy to go with that as well. To be fair, do you know what I mean? God, that might be a new challenge, or that might be something exciting. But long story short, did it change me in my mentality? Not a whole pile. Okay. I was very proud of myself, which sometimes I struggle with that. And I struggle to say I'm very proud of that. I'm very happy with myself there. But that was one of the things where that was a big plus, bro. Where I said I'm very proud of what I've done there. And then obviously, of course, your colleagues are all around you and your friends and your family. So many of my loved ones were so happy for me, and people that are close to me celebrated with me. Up until I went up, I had Craig and that texting me on the phone, best of luck and all that. Wow. So I suppose for me, it's like, right, okay, maybe somebody else wants to do it now, or maybe somebody else wants to give that a go. So like, what can I do to kind of help with that? So that's where my mentality goes next. I suppose.
That's amazing, Patrick. But actually, again, we are very happy to have you here and having this conversation that we enjoyed as well. And again, so every day I think we learn something new from you. It's like even like the humble person that you are. It's like since I met you, I was like, wow, this guy has something. And I remember you saying that advice to one of the course, I think so. It was like it's not only about the haircut; it's just about as well the feelings of the person. You're not getting the haircut.
Sorry to cut you off, but I remember you and Sean were sharing that to our class one time when you were how you make a client feel. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I think that even going back to the advice to beginners and your mentality in the industry, that your haircutting is one thing, but how you make someone feel, that lasts months, if not years, longer than a haircut. Like I forget half the haircuts that I've had, but I remember how people have made me feel throughout the years. Do you know what I mean? That kind of sticks somewhere that you can't see, So I'm very, 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 very conscious about that. Like when it comes to teaching, I don't really care who can fade this and taper that. If you can make someone feel empowered and confident and feel happy, you know what I mean? We don't always have to say nice things, just say things nice, you know? And that's what comes down to in the brass tacks of a barber, a hairdresser in a salon. It's all about how you make people feel. That is a big thing, and that's it.
That is great, bro. That is great. Well, Patrick, this has been everything for today.
Cool.
Thank you so much for your time. I know, you are so busy, crazy that you came today early.
Yeah,
you did my haircut, no crazy haircut again, as I said. Yeah, so cool.
Yeah, thank you, bro.
And Patrick, thank you so much.
No problem.
For coming to the podcast. And this is actually one of the best podcasts. Honestly, this has been so cool.
Yeah, this is actually really good. Thank you so much for being here, with us.
Not at all.
I didn't know you before, and I was really, really, really nervous today. I was like,
no, it's all, man. Yeah,
hopefully he's a really nice guy.
Honestly, Luis has been thinking about this podcast like probably when we were thinking we're gonna bring Patrick, and it's like I was like, bro, definitely thinking about the questions, thinking about and yeah, now he's
here. Done a great job, man. Done a great job. Well done. Well done.
Thank you very much for being here with us.
Not at all, man. Not at all.
Yeah, I think this is it, no? Well, guys, thank you so much for watching. If you reached to this part of the podcast, like, thank you so much for watching this episode. If you liked it, just give it a like, give a comment, and share to your friends. And don't forget to subscribe to the channel. Don't forget to follow Patrick's social media, our social media, podcast social media, and the studio social media. So thank you so much once again, guys, and we'll see you in the next one.
See you.
My bro.
Cool.
That was awesome. That was crazy.
Cool.